Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't realize that. Well, I guess I should have realized that I was uh um live. Because I pushed the button, so I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I had to send the invite to Leonard, who's caught up in something right now. He's having issues, computer issues, and late issues, and this issue and that issue. So it's gonna be me for right now. Anyway, morning everybody. Um, I apologize for, as I said, for not paying attention. The live stream had already started. But we got quite a few things to talk about this morning. Um, I I'll start with this. Um, Something I posted yesterday in response to some disturbing um, posts that I had seen about Sean Combs and his trial. And I had seen this trend prior to the verdict coming out when the trial was going on and all this, but um, I didn't say anything until after it was over. Um, what I saw was someone basically post that the government should never have charged. They shouldn't have charged him with any crime because all he did was have freaky parties. Um, and what disturbed me the most about the comments um, was the fact that these were black women saying this. Black women saying that this man who abused, traumatized, um, abused, traumatized, trafficked, did all kinds of stuff, drug, did all kinds of stuff, and to basically turn the woman into a drug addict and all that. At least one woman that we named we know, and plus another woman who said she got caught up in his stuff too. And black women are sitting here defending him. And the person who posted this a few years ago basically said the exact same thing about R. Kelly. Now, to me, that's ridiculous. That's upsetting. That as a man, I'm more upset about what the two of them did than black women are, because his victims were all black women or women of color. I'm not sure what Cassie's ethnicity is, but she looks like a black woman to me. Um, but to think that a man would be more upset about what was going on than women. And the thing is, when I posted what I said about the issue, I had women coming on saying, for the most part, defending him. Men were the ones who were saying, oh, hell no, he deserved what he gets. They should have charged with more, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of a world do we live in that men care more about women than other women do? And I've had this discussion. I had this discussion even last night with members of my own family saying she shouldn't have been there. She should have left. Well, members of my family didn't say that, but I had some women say she should have left. Uh, uh, um, and that she should have. She participated. She went out and called. She made phone calls. If anybody was doing the trafficking, it was her because she paid for it. She sent for those people and she paid for it. Now, mind you, and when they said, I'm saying that I'm listening to this, I'm like, I cannot believe this is coming from people that I know, people that I love, actually think like this. And all I kept saying to myself was, uh, uh, um, what if it was your child? Would you feel the same way? Nobody ever responds to that. What if it was your daughter or your son that got treated like this? Now they all agree. Oh, he's a despicable person. He ain't shit. Blah 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 blah. All this, but he shouldn't have been charged. Then they said, well, he shouldn't have been charged with sex trafficking. And I tried to explain to them, and just to make sure I wasn't wrong, talked to a friend of mine that's an attorney, and she agreed. If you pay for somebody to travel from one state to another for sex, that is trafficking. That is sex trafficking. It doesn't make a difference if they voluntarily did it or not. That's still sex trafficking. Nothing has changed. All of it is still sex trafficking. It does not make a difference. And let's say this. You know, somebody said that she paid for it. Well, whose money do you think it was? She didn't have that kind of money. Where was she getting money from? From him. And then they're saying, what else did they say? Oh, these type of discussions just irk the hell out of me. Now, I'm being real serious, y'all. I'm being real serious. They just bother me to my core. They said that she paid for it, that she could have left whenever she wanted to. Oh, man, there was something else that they said. I was like, you got to be kidding. But anyway, I explained to them, he shouldn't have gotten a RICO charge because there was no conspiracy. I said, you do realize if he gave her the money to have these people come from one place to another, that's the conspiracy part. I even broke it down to him. I even said, hey, if I pay you money to go, if I pay you money to go shoot him, that's a conspiracy. It doesn't make a difference how many people are in it. It's a conspiracy. If I pay you to do something illegal, that is a conspiracy. That is RICO. That's exactly what it is. That's what it was designed for. But you can't tell these armchair lawyers anything. Armchair law enforcement. You can't tell them nothing. Can't tell them nothing at all because they know everything because they looked at Law and Order. Because Law and Order tell them every goddamn thing. And then, you know, they said, well, she was more to blame than he was. She was calling the people. She was paying the people, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I never got to the point where I reminded them that when somebody is in an abusive relationship, they would do anything to please the abuser. Anything to please that abuser. Even if it's stuff that they don't want to do. Even if it's stuff that's illegal, they will do it to appease that abuser. That happens on a daily basis. But like I said, you can't tell these armchair lawyers anything because they know the law. They swear up and down in the law because they watched Law and Order. And I'm like, okay, of everybody in this group that we're talking, which one of us was a cop? Which one had to study this stuff? I couldn't just go ahead and just charge somebody for something and I didn't know what it was. I had to know that part of the law. Whatever I was charged, I had to know what it meant in order to charge somebody with them. Or otherwise, I could arrest somebody, arrest them, take them to jail, and the DA throws the case out, and now I can be accused of false imprisonment. They even tried to tell me when that incident where he beat Cassie at the elevator and dragged her back to the hotel room. They tried to tell me that's not kidnapping. What you mean that's not kidnapping? That is. If you make somebody go somewhere that they don't want to go, you forcibly make them go somewhere, you pull a gun on them, you drag them, whatever, that is called kidnapping, y'all. That's the very definition of kidnapping. Taking somebody somewhere where they don't want to go. And when she tried to leave, when the incident happened, she was trying to leave him. She had her bag. She was at the elevator. That's kidnapping. But again, you can't tell these armchair Law and Order people anything because they swear up and down they know what they're talking about. And then they're gonna say, well, the jury agreed with us. That don't mean this shit was right. When I'll tell you a perfectly good example, and I wanted to tell them this, but I didn't get it. I didn't say it because they basically tabled it because it was getting into an argument back and forth. Me against 4 other people, maybe 5, I don't know. But anyway, one example I was going to use was a case that I was sort of involved in when I was in the Bronx DA's office. And in that case, it was 2 young ladies who were charged with murder. Well, in New York, they second-degree murder because they did a drive-by and ended up killing somebody. Now, witnesses saw them do it. They had just left the scene before the shooting, left, came back, did the shooting. Witnesses said everything they did. They did it. They did it. We saw them. The jury let them off. Now, I don't know why the jury let them off, but we had witnesses who said they saw him. They saw them. They saw the car. They knew the car they were driving. They knew them. Blah, all back and forth. The jury let them off. Just because the jury acquits somebody of something, that does not mean they didn't do it. That doesn't mean they didn't do it. And Leonard, hold on, Leonard's calling me. I don't know why the hell he calling me. I just told him I sent the invite. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway, he's calling me and I'm on the air. And that's so unprofessional. And I'm gonna talk about him while he's not here. But we'll get to that anyway. Get to that later. But as I said, when somebody just because the jury acquits somebody of a charge, that doesn't mean they actually did it. They didn't do it. That doesn't mean they didn't do it. That means they got away with it. And even on the kidnapping thing, I said, do y'all know one of the things that O.J. Simpson was charged with when he went to prison? It was like robbery. That was one. I said, the other was kidnapping. What do you mean kidnapping? When he went to that room and he told the guy, you can't leave, they charged him with kidnapping. Because that's what kidnapping is. So, for them to as I said, when you keep trying to tell people stuff and they swear everything that you come up with, I will refute it. Especially when it's something that I know about and you don't know about. As I said, of all the people in the discussion, I was the only one with that had ever been a cop. I don't argue with people. I don't try to argue with people in terms of when they're in their profession. I don't argue with a football player about what it's like to be on the football field. I don't do that. I don't argue with the president. Well, I will argue with Donald Trump, but he ain't no real president. But I don't argue with I don't argue with there he is finally sending me, calling me while I'm on the air, trying to get me to answer the phone while I'm talking to y'all about something that I already did. Because he didn't check his email. And pull your screen down, man. I always see at the top of your head, dude. Can you hear me?
It was in spam. It was in spam.
Okay, that ain't my fault.
Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
Every now and then we can see the ugly face. I always see the, there you go. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Anyway.
You sent Marion his invite?
I can't help it.
You sent Marion his invite?
I don't have Marion's email. I don't have Marion's email.
I texted it to you.
No, you did not text it to me. Oh, that was after I was on the air. Listen, I was having a very lively discussion with myself.
Send it to him.
Pun intended. Dude, you can send the invite. I'm talking. You know you're interrupting the show, right?
I can't send it because you control the show.
You know, you do realize you're interrupting the show.
Of course.
I was on a roll. I was having a very good discussion, and it was very meaningful and thoughtful and intelligent discussion. And you come on here and just mess up the flow because you late.
What are we talking about?
Oh, we're talking about people's reaction to the verdict. That, and Leonard, you commented on that. And one of the things I was saying that these people, the argument was she went along with it. It was she paid for it. She never left. You know, all those things that people were saying when I posted that. I just don't understand why Black women are defending him. That's what I don't understand. Now I will say this: the men that responded to my that commented on my post, if I'm not mistaken, all of them have daughters. All of them have daughters. I don't know about the women, but if I'm not mistaken, the ones that I saw, that I noticed, the ones that I saw that commented, they were all men. And they agree with me. What does that say about women? In particular, Black women. I don't know, I haven't seen the reaction of anybody, of a white woman or a Latino woman or a Asian woman or anything like that. I have not seen their reaction to the verdict, but I have seen Black women's reaction to it. And let's be clear. It's not all Black women. There were some women that came on there, in particular, Stacey came on and she made comments about it. She made a comment and she agreed with me. And listen, y'all, and I would be real honest about this, be real candid about this. I'm not upset. If you disagree with me on something, that's fine. My feelings are not hurt. I am man enough to know, if you can prove to me that I'm wrong, I'm man enough to say you right. You know what, you got it. You right. But on this, I'm not relenting. I am not going back. I am going to stand 10 toes down on this, that he deserved, that they actually should have charged him with kidnapping. I don't know if I said that earlier, but they should have charged him with kidnapping as a part of that. I'm going to stand 10 toes down on that one. I'm not going to say, I am never, ever going to support a man like that. Never will I ever support a man like that. Never, ever will I support a woman who does it. I won't support anybody who does that. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. And I will tell you to your face. I will tell your mama. I will tell your grandma. I tell your auntie. I tell your whole family. He wrong. She wrong. And whatever time he gets, he deserves it. And more. But Leonard, you're caught up. Your words.
I think everybody.
What are you doing?
Turning my speaker up so you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think everybody. The truth of the matter is, people have a problem with women's open sexuality, and it's just a bunch of hypocrisy. So many people, men and women, felt that once they knew that she might have participated in the swingers lifestyle, she deserved the treatment that she got, and they were reacting to that, because there's no goddamn way in the world. You and I totally agree on this. And I've been in a debate with somebody online too, that you can watch any man run down a hall half naked, stomp a woman out who probably weighs about 120 pounds, and drag her by her hair and start dragging her back down the hallway, and not think that worse than that has happened in the past. And he just got caught on tape. And the thing about it is his personality is such that right now at this stage of life, I don't know if it's always been that way. Maybe it has. At some point, he went off the deep end and he thought he could get away with it. He just didn't think anybody saw it. And he thought he had enough money, because money will buy you a lot of things including silence, which is why she got $10 million from Marriott. Do I think that at some point she was a willing participant? Yeah, I think she had a high sex drive, and she was interested in that lifestyle. I don't think that gives anybody, man or woman, the right to abuse her. No more than it gives anybody a right to abuse a man for that. But that's a biblical religious thing that people can't let go of. That once she just told him that she didn't want to do it anymore, it became about ownership for him. I've said this time and time again. If it wasn't ownership, the minute she started dating Kid Cudi, he would have left her alone. But ain't no man, as Kid Cudi said on stand, ain't no man, I'm not going over no Kenneth's house. Now, I'm damn sure not going to break into Kenneth's house or walk into Kenneth's house, even the door is open, and then go in there and open up his Christmas gifts and then call somebody and say, man, I just want to talk. And Kid Cudi literally said, I told him, you in my house? And he's like, yeah. He said, you stay right there. That ain't that anybody can't. I don't even have conversations with people like that.
Get away with anything,
right? But that anybody on the outside that didn't hear that story didn't stop and go, what? Wait, Leonard went to Kenneth's house while Kenneth wasn't home. And wait, and he didn't stay in the driveway. He got out his car, walked up to the door, and either kicked it in or opened it on Christmas and went in. And not only did he not stop there, he went and he opened some gifts. That don't end the conversation for none of y'all. That's what I was trying to tell everybody. That don't stop the conversation. Like, and then I called Kenneth, and I was like, hey man, I'm at your house. And Kenneth said, you at my house or you in my house? And I go, I'm in your house, sitting on your sofa. Can you imagine if you were at Regency Mall, how quick you would have gotten your car and said, you wait right there. Kid Cudi said, he said to him, you wait right there. He didn't say nothing. He said, you wait right there, and hung up the phone. That didn't stop any of y'all from pausing before you get on the internet and type and say, she participated in that lifestyle, she deserved that. Who the fuck deserves that? Who you only doing that to people? You wouldn't have did Mike Tyson like that. We wouldn't have did Mike Tyson like that. You wouldn't have did Stephen Jackson from the NBA like that. Let's be clear. You would have did Stephen Jackson. You were a bully. And you thought you owned that woman. And then this don't give you pause. This is what I was saying, Kenneth. I call your mama. I call Kenneth's mama. I call Kenneth and go, hey bro, I got a sex tape of your sister. If you don't tell her to stop, I'm gonna release it. That don't give y'all fools pause. At what point does she not deserve the treatment? Well, man, she let she let three dudes.
One thing I say
time.
This.
So
one thing I say this. They have people have selective hearing and selective amnesia when it comes to stuff. They remember and they hear what they want to hear and remember what they want to remember. Because all the stuff that came out, and there was a lot of stuff that we didn't even know about that was stated in the trial. We didn't, unless you were somebody, and I don't think they don't think they even had cameras in the courtroom. Unless it was like OJ trial, where they had cameras in there the whole time, and you got to see every proceeding and all this and all that. You don't know what was said. You have no idea all this stuff. They give you the highlights. They gave you the highlights on as Marion said, Laura Coates and all this. And Marion, I don't care who these people are that you said. Mark Garagos, Misty Harris, and Laura Coates. I don't give a damn who they are. They're wrong. They're wrong.
But you see the crack he made? He said
I'm
I'm
not overcharged.
Popular.
He was undercharged.
Wait, did you see the crack he made? He said I'm not popular.
He said what?
He said when what happened? It was 10 people tuned in when Leonard came.
Oh yeah, I
Okay, smart ass. You want me to get off the show? I can drop off the show. The truth of the matter is, Mark Garagos, I think Mark Garagos' daughter did a hell of a job. But at the end of the day, and I knew there were going to be reasonable doubt because you got people on there with their own religious, sexual hangups. They thought she deserved that treatment. They thought she brought into that treatment. They thought that he had every right to beat her because she was willing to have sex with more than one person. They thought she deserved it. And nobody deserves that. She has a right to say what her sexuality is. Just because you got hangs about it, that means she deserves to get the shit beat out of her. They don't make you no more of a righteous woman.
And also,
I'm sorry. Hey, I know some of y'all don't want to hear that, but hey, I don't care. It don't make. Okay, we know a whole bunch of y'all that done got some skeletons in y'all closet that did some shit people just don't know about. And I don't care. You placed the not you, Kenneth. Some of y'all just placed the judgments on it. Did I think they overreached with the RICO charge? Yes. I believe that from day one, but I don't know what that brother was thinking. Because the brother brought the case. He just was a part of the Biden administration. I don't know why.
No, the RICO is this. It's real simple. If two people get together and decide something, that's conspiracy, which is RICO. In this case, when he paid
an
for
ongoing criminal enterprise,
right? Well, when you do the sex trafficking thing, when you paying for male prostitutes to go from one place to another, that's a federal sex trafficking.
That's sex trafficking across the lines.
Conspiracy.
Ongoing
across state lines.
The RICO was brought.
And that's the ongoing. Yeah, but that's the ongoing criminal enterprise.
But you wait.
You only have to talk about it one time.
You were a detective in New York, and you know that RICO was invented to go after Italian mobsters. That's what RICO was invented for. And what's going on?
But also too, when he had people, when she left, and he had people go get her, he had his people go get her and bring her back. Once again, that's kidnapping. If you on my payroll and I tell you to go get somebody, that's the conspiracy. That's the RICO charge.
But they didn't charge him with
the only problem is, I know, but that's what they should have done. But my thing is this: that the prosecution did a poor job of outlining, basically doing a streamline of the lot. No, not the streamline. What's the word? The timeline of events to show that the stuff that he did was conspiracy, and it warranted sex trafficking and the RICO charge. That's what I'm thinking. Because if you break it down, all this stuff down to break it down, they thought they had a solid case, which they did. But they didn't take that next step.
They did until most reasonable people. They did until they were not thinking about how people were going to react to her text messages. I watched an attorney the other day said, the narrative they came in with was wrong. They did not understand how visceral people were going to react to, are we having a freak off tonight? Hey, I'm dead. I'm down for the freak off tonight. And coming from her phone to their phone. Now, did I think that she sat there and took that like a champ? Yes, but they did not understand. I understood
that's the philosophy, or that's the psychology of as they, and I can't think of the technical term.
Here's what I want to say. Can I say this real quick?
When you psychologically start identifying with your abuser, I can't think of what the phrase is, but it's a psychology thing, and they did a poor job of explaining that. They should have brought a psychologist on and had them say blah 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 blah. This is what happens when somebody's been a captive, been abused, and all this. They start doing any and everything to please their abuser.
Can we just talk about guys' reaction? A lot of guys' reaction to it, which is she deserved it. They think she deserved it because they thought.
Hold on, I'm more disturbed by the women.
Yeah, I'm too. Wait, you too. Because they think she a hoe. Let's be honest. Let's use words they use. She thinks she a hoe. She deserved that. Half them dudes saying that couldn't pull Cassie on her worst day and their best day. Half of them dudes that were hanging around Puffy who were getting those girls, because the biggest problem for me was I had a dude tell me Puffy a stand-up dude because he didn't snitch. And I'm like, so he didn't snitch to a whole bunch of non-consensual sexual assaults because he saw some. So he a stand-up dude because he saw a whole bunch of dudes, because all his people on his team were doing it. You know that. So he a stand-up dude because we got a problem with the word snitch in our culture. You know it and I know it. You a cop, you know it. You know that people in our culture don't want to snitch on nothing. I don't care how vile it is. And then they wonder why crime is high in our neighborhood. Because you don't want to tell on nobody. Because you don't want to tell on your Uncle Pookie. Or your cousin Ray Ray. And they just thought that she deserved that.
And Stacey, Patty Hearst did suffer from the Stockholm syndrome when she was kidnapped by the was it Symbolize Liberation Army? I know it's SLA. I know it's Liberation Army. I can't think of the first Symbolize or Symbolize. I can't think of the name of the group of the organization. So Symbolize. It just amazes me. Now, excuse me, men, and I'm saying I'm not agreeing with this. I can see a man thinking that way. I can see it. I don't agree with it. I don't know why they think like that, but I could at least see it, because a man, too many men are misogynistic and all of that. I'm disturbed by the women. And as I said, you and a couple of other guys came on and, basically sided with me. And too many of the women was like, and the thing is, I did not tag the person who I saw who originally posted the stuff about free Diddy. I didn't do that because I didn't want to make it personal with them. But when they posted that, there were a whole bunch of women underneath that thread agreeing with her. And that's what got me. That's why I wrote what I wrote. I really and truly don't understand the psychology of a woman who thinks that another woman deserves that type of treatment. I really don't understand it. And it bothered me, and it still bothers me. I had somebody say that, tried to equate sexual harassment with what she went with. I've been sexually harassed, believe it or not. I have been sexually harassed. I would never equate me being sexually harassed to the shit that she went through. Would never do that. That's not even that, they say comparing apples to oranges. That's like comparing apples to a truck. One ain't got nothing to do. One has nothing to do with it. So I just, like I said, I was disturbed by that, and I really wanted to speak on that today. Now, before it gets too late, we still got to talk about the, as they say, the elephant in the room, that big ass ugly bill. That before I go, I want to say something. You see, damn, Linda left. Harriet, you must be real pissed if you cursing like your brother now. Sorry ass wimps. What did he do? Did he disconnect? Let me invite it back in. He disconnected. Oh, it said you had disconnected. You see the comment that your sister put on there, right?
Yeah, I saw it. Go ahead.
I said, it must be a situation. She really pissed if she started cussing like you. But Harriet, welcome to the dark side. Welcome to the dark side, my dear. But we do have to talk about that bill that the Senate and the House just passed. And I don't know. I think Trump signed it yesterday. He was supposed to sign it yesterday, but I'm not even sure. I haven't looked at. Didn't look at the news at all yesterday. Matter of fact, I didn't even look at TV at all yesterday. That bill, or if he signed it, law, is going to devastate so many communities. Let's start with the healthcare part of it, with Medicare. The fact that if they implement this, that the rural hospitals, them hospitals in the country, in those counties where there's only one hospital, and there's a whole lot of Medicare patients in that particular county, that county hospital is going to fold. It's going to fold, and there's really nothing. They talk about states can take up the slack. Well, what do you think states get their money from? For Medicare. For indigent patients from to affect those rural hospitals. Those hospitals, like let's for example, Burke County Hospital. I'm sure they have a whole lot of Medicaid patients, Medicare and Medicaid patients, and they go to that hospital. That's the only hospital until you come up to Augusta, 40 miles away. Now, that's not that big of a deal, going 40 miles, but I want you to think about something. If you're in a situation, a life or death situation, and you have to drive, they have to come and get you, take you 40 miles to a hospital, and you only have minutes to live. If you don't get to a hospital within a few minutes, you may not live. That 40 miles is a big deal. And there are parts of this country where there aren't hospitals for another 200 miles or 100 miles. So now we're talking about hours. And if that hospital, that particular area doesn't have a medevac, it's going to take longer.
So I just got a question. So the bill is about to be signed into law. So I mean that's a done deal. So we're gonna have to deal with that for the next 3 years minimum. Well, shit, it don't kick in until the next administration, damn near, because the matter he tried to rescind every Biden era measure, which he's done pretty well. But I sent the text to Crystal and Marion yesterday, and my little brother. 43%
I'm still trying to figure out why you say your little brother, but Crystal, you don't say my big sister.
I don't know. Look, I don't know. You know how country we be. I don't have a clue. You want me to go into that, or you want me to finish without saying?
No, I was just wondering because you keep calling him that. Say the man's name. Say his name. Say his name.
43% of all Black Americans who are employed make less than $30,000 a year. There you go. Black folks need to get off their asses and vote. The Black politicians need to start and maintain to get out the vote campaigns. That's what I had documentation on. It's not just Medicaid patients. The doctors and nurses are being paid by Medicaid as well.
Yeah.
The thing for me is this. All of Black folks, 43% of Black folks' taxes are going up. And the poorest ones are going up. If you make less than $15,000 a year, your tax is going up by $1,200. Now, the question is, can you offset it with your child tax credit if you got children, which has went up to $2,200 per child? But the people that's going to be paying for it largely is your community. Because I was playing with the numbers yesterday, and it was like if it's 43 million, 43% of Black people and making less than $30,000 a year, all of your taxes went up. Every last one of them. Everybody's insurance is going up. And So we here now. So whatever strategy we said we had didn't work. We here now. Now what we gonna do? Because we aren't even sure that we're gonna have midterms the way Miami-Dade County's mayor just canceled the elections, sometime last week until the 2025 elections they put off till 2026. So they're doing all these test cases. Why or how are the tax cuts permanent? That's a good question. That's a good question. I can't explain that to you.
Well, see, tax cuts don't come from the president; they come from Congress. So it's not really left up to the president, because tax cuts are law. They have to have Congress has to pass a bill to reverse these things. Reverse the tax cuts, because you can't do it with an executive order. Taxes are controlled by the legislative branch. So the tax cuts can be reversed, and Leonard is right, by the next administration. Because if you try to, let's say the Democrats take control of the House and the Senate, they still got to go through Donald Trump for it to become law. So anything they can't sign, it still has to be signed. So it's gonna be 2020, was it 2028 or 2029 when the next administration comes in, that these things are gonna be reversed. Up until that point, we SOL.
And he's sorry. What'd you say, Marion? We SOL now, huh? All right. Hey, man, look. Folks weren't going to get out and do stuff. Folks weren't, by a 3-2 vote, Harriet, look, pull it up, by a 3-2 vote at the city council. They down there having a fit right now. Folks wanted to get out and say, after the election, they were tired. There's nothing they could do. Well, now it's just about to hit the fan. I agree with Marion on this. Marion has finally got me to come over to his side. When the pain great enough for y'all to do something, y'all will get your asses up. When the pain great enough that
you said get their asses up. It's still, this is the thing. Short of overturning the government, there's really nothing the citizens can do, because his party controls Congress, and he controls the White House, and Supreme Court got their back. He basically controls the Supreme Court. So the only strategy that we have other than insurrection is to wait for the next election and then stop some of the stuff that he's doing. He won't get congressional approval. Now, there also won't be anything done in Congress at all. Nothing done. No laws will be passed, or at least no legitimate law, no significant laws will be passed until we get a new administration in. Up until that point, I mean, let's be real. There's nothing we can do.
What do you mean no laws will be passed? Why won't any laws be passed?
Because a law has to be signed by the president. In order for a bill to become law, it has to be. Don't you remember? I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. You forgot that part?
Yeah, but you're saying he's not going to pass any more laws for the next 3 years. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying, you didn't listen.
Okay, I'm listening.
I said, if a new Congress comes in, if the Democrats take control of the House and the Senate, no laws will be passed. No significant laws will be passed, because he won't sign them. Anything that they're trying to do in terms of reverse any policies that he had, he will not sign it. So nothing to get done. That it's gonna be real. Nothing's gonna get done.
That's you. So your theory is that you're basing it on. Because I don't want to not hear you. Is if during the midterms, which are 2026, which is we're in July right now. We're not going to be there till next November. We got a whole nother legislative session coming up after they leave, I think in August. They take a recess, they come back. and they're gonna start again. They're gonna get a whole bunch of laws passed.
I'm not talking about this Congress. I'm talking about the next one.
I know y'all. You keep assuming I don't know if Crystal means it's not that there will be a great next Congress. They are about
see once again. You didn't listen to what I said. I said if Democrats win the House and the Senate, no significant laws will be passed because he will not sign any bill that they put on his desk into law. That's what I said.
No problem.
I didn't say anything about this one. I never said anything about this Congress. I'm talking about the next one. If Democrats win.
Okay, then you're far ahead of me. I haven't even got to the next Congress. What I got to is that they just gave ICE, what was that, 45 billion? Was it 140 billion dollars or 45 billion dollars? So they just created they just created a whole nother security apparatus. All right, and so with that security apparatus, now he has a security apparatus sitting on American soil with a whole bunch of goddamn money. All right, so that's what they did. So what the way to think about this is, what's the most insidious thing he can do? Because that's how they're thinking about it. They're thinking about they're swinging for the fences. We're bunting. They're absolutely swinging for the fences. So
I know they are.
Authoritarian fascist president will do everything in his power to suspend elections. When 70% of black folks who are allowed to vote, the shit will stop. It's documented. Roland Martin is screaming the fact. I sent you a Twitter version of the Pew Report. 70% of black folks who are allowed to vote. I'm kind of lost.
He's saying it's going to take about 70% of the black community to vote. Those with black people to vote in order for them to change things. And but that's still, once again, that's with the next election. The until that happens, and you're right, they are going to swing for the fence. They are going to do it.
Let me tell you the
strategy. The only thing is, the courts may check them, and it's hit or miss on how far the Supreme Court will let this go, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that they're allowing him to do that's not constitutional, simply because I guess they don't want to be. Well, we know Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito are dumbasses anyway. Them two fuckers, them two fuckers right there. They just don't give a shit about nobody. All Clarence Thomas care about is his ugly ass wife. That's it. He don't give a shit about nobody else. And Samuel Alito, I don't know what he give a shit about. But the other four justices that keep voting in on Trump's favor, they're scared because they think somebody's gonna come after them. Those MAGA people gonna come after them. They really believe that shit. That's the only way I can think, because there's no reason for them to even say that the stuff that he's trying to do is constitutional, when damn hell, even I can interpret the Constitution to say that shit ain't right.
So are you saying that they believe that somebody's gonna come after them violently?
Oh yeah.
So
they're scared.
So are you saying that violence works?
Yeah, it works against them. But the thing is this, as I said, and I'm gonna keep saying this, there's nothing legally that we can do at this point except ride this shit out. That's it. Legally, there's nothing we can do, because we gotta hope and pray that nobody from Thomas and Alito don't croak or decide to resign from the Supreme Court, because Trump is going to appoint somebody worse than them, or at least thinks like them. So we better hope and pray that they hang on. Then there's the other justices. They ain't going nowhere anytime soon.
What is done?
So we don't. Let's just say this: the Supreme Court is hit or miss on any constitutional question. It's hit or miss. You have every judge, or majority of the judges that hear these cases side with people against the Trump administration. Damn near every single one of them. I may have seen one federal judge side with the Trump administration in the lower courts. Then they appeal it to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court let that shit go. Now, everybody, you got these 6 people in the country who believe that Donald Trump is wrong. But all the other judges, everybody says the same thing. That's just not constitutional. Hold up, who said that?
Don
Oh,
said
that's
that.
you.
Don said that.
What do you mean by political immaturity? You wrote that, Leonard?
Yes. I was trying to figure out what he was talking about.
It said my name on there. That's what I'm trying to figure out where it came from. Who wrote that? But we have. I'm just saying. We're going to have to ride this out, because if we do have to, short of political violence and insurrection, nothing's going. Things are not going to get better, and that we just going to have to strategize and come up with strong candidates, put forth strong candidates that's not afraid, that's not going to back down. That's what we need to do. That's what happened. Okay, there it is. That's what we need to do, because there's nothing else is going to be nothing else is going to work. We have to by any legal means necessary. I'm not going to say by any means necessary. By any legal means necessary, we need to fight this. And if we, like I said, we can rely on the lower courts, the basic level of the court system, federal court system, and the appellate court. 9 times out of 10, they agree with what we're saying. It's just the Supreme Court that's a problem. So we need to get prepared for the next election. Or if there's special elections, prepare for those. We just can't sit back and wait and hope that something happens. We got to make it happen. And Don, I agree with you, now they're seeing both sides ain't the same, but you'll never get them to admit it. That's one thing you'll never get them to admit.
We don't flex.
You'll never get them to admit that.
I agree with Tammy. We make too many excuses, and the problem is that those of us on here who are politically astute a little bit, I don't think we want to admit that we're going to have to get out here and do most of the work, because we're in the same boat as all those other people that's not voting, because we're part of the same community. We think that we have more protections they have, but I'm here to tell you, I don't know what y'all are watching. You don't have that many more protections. It's time to let the young people lead. See, man, young people have more nerve, have less to lose, and are convinced that mortality has always been the young people who lead. I agree with you to a certain degree, Crystal. I keep telling Kenneth this. We're the first generation that got, my generation, people who were born in my year, are the first people who got full-fledged civil rights. And we fucked up. We didn't impart on these people and get out there. Roland says this, Marion says this all the time, but what Roland says, the bank of justice is empty because we didn't make no deposits in it. We stopped fighting. And so who's going to show them? Or who's going to at least be behind there to give them advice? And we can't even get some of these people to step down because they like it. They just as addicted to the perks as anybody else. I'm not saying Maxine Waters hasn't been effective, but I am saying Maxine Waters is 80-something years old. It's time for her to move out the way. She didn't groom somebody. We have so many Dems that don't want to get out the way. Hell, I'm saying that in my community right now. I'm constantly saying, let these young people take over. But these older people my age don't want to give up access to what they think is power. I got a state rep right now that can't stand me right now. I'm like, you 79 years old. Why won't you move out the way? And we don't kind of call it, like Marion just said, we don't want to call people out by their name. You know, and it is political immaturity acts both ways. People in our age group got to start calling some of these people in our age group out and saying, get the fuck out the way. I'm going to give Lucy McBath a pass. Her husband's dying has cancer. And he's not, from what I understand, he's not well. But we got to take this one on the chin. And then say, what are we willing to do with our lives to change it? It ain't really about young people getting out there, because young people didn't put us in this situation. We did it. We stopped fighting. We stopped calling people to the carpet. We stopped getting out there. We stopped giving money. None of this works without money. So all the people who have money are people our age. If you remotely done right, it's like we just be talking in the wind and talking shit. And this is where I'm fed up with it for. I'm like, Marion, we just be talking shit. I literally haven't been to a bourbon test now because I don't want to be around a bunch of dudes just talking shit. The generation before you, me and Ken, if we just told it, me and Ken, let's just fundamentally disagree. Now I'm giving Warnock some credit because from Atlanta, I will tell you why I give Warnock a pass, because Warnock took our airport off the table. Off the table. Warnock took the airport off the table when these rural state legislatures were trying to come and take over the Atlanta airport because they wanted the economic engine of the South, which is the airport and the port. The airport more so than the port. Warnock took that. So I'm going to give one. I'm not saying nothing bad about Warnock because he took that off the table for the next 10 years. So he's going to always get my vote just for that. But these other people, you know, the minute those people didn't stand up, all black politicians to go down there and sit with Shirley Franklin and Mary Dickens when they were going after Fani, I was done with them. Y'all ain't willing to fight, but y'all done got all the perks. You sitting up there at $175,000 and you're a state rep, senator. You get all these nice dinners. You don't want to leave that stuff. Maxine don't want to leave that. But people surrounding her don't want to leave that. Jerry Connolly don't want to leave that. But Nancy Pelosi don't want to leave that. But I don't have time to be dealing with their community. There's never been a movement in the United States. Unfortunately, y'all don't like me saying this. Kenneth says, let you know what we're going to do. Okay, well, I'm saying the same thing. You're going to get mad when I say this. I don't say this because I think it's the 50s. I just say this because I know they were in a worse position than we were. They didn't have any of the tools that we had. Not a one. They just didn't. And they said that I'm going to do this to make my children's lives better. This is what I got to do. Diane Nash was willing to go to prison when she was pregnant. She was like, why be out there when I'm going to be why not go to prison? I'm in the prison out there. My kid's going to be born in the prison. Might as well be in the prison. They have not come up with it. So I agree with you on this one, Kenneth. You know, Leonard, show me how that's has moved them. I said this to you before. You just said it. That's why I keep asking. I keep asking it slyly. You know, I'm going to get off and stop talking. Those judges think that somebody's going to come see them from the other side. That's basically what you're saying. They scared that the MAGA people are going to come get them. I said this during the campaign. You and I had this conversation. The reason you had all those Palestinian activists going to Kamala Harris, cutting the fool of her campaign, and not cutting the fool of his campaign is because they would have got their ass kicked at the other campaign. And I'm not suggesting we should have kicked their ass. I am suggesting that that's how ungrateful they were. You ain't going to his campaign rallies because you know they'll throw you out there and probably might kill you. You come to her campaign rallies and you are so disrespectful because they know. They have no fear. They have no fear. And right now, let me ask this. Were you moved by Hakeem Jeffries talking about 8 hours? I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Personally. Oh, now you want to try to delay it? Man, find somebody that can get the message out. I don't give a damn if he a crook at this stage if he got this booming voice that can move people. Because if you can't find somebody that can move people to vote, move these young people to vote, we dead in the water. Obviously, the people we put forth ain't been able to move people to vote. I know you say I shouldn't have to move you. Yeah, you shouldn't, but you're going to have to. You shouldn't, but you're going to have to. You're going to have to find somebody that can move people to vote. And that person has to go across the South. The South, because I'm not voting for one more New York politician because they can't move nobody. I follow AOC. I knew we had a problem when Jamal Bowman got put out. Because I'm like, y'all can't get black people to vote for Jamal Bowman? Y'all can't get black people to vote in the 5 boroughs of New York to keep Jamal Bowman in? And if I found out one more black person that's scared to speak out against AIPAC, I'm not voting for you there either. Not voting for you there either. Nope. But then when you don't take money for AIPAC, they got to make that money up somewhere because you got to have money to run campaigns. Yep. That's what black men like about Donald Trump. He's a gangster. And you can watch it on some of the stuff we read, Ken. We got so many people that we watch on social media, like it's almost like they admire Donald Trump. And I'm like, and they black. I'm like, I don't admire him. Rational people will step from the other side. It's dumb. It's hella dumb. Hella dumb. That's all I got for you, bro. I don't know what the strategy is. I used to use the summer grandparents that example. They're all grandpa. One side treats you as a brother, and they're like you messing up this summer.
Well, the solutions that are available are down the line solutions, but we need to start getting people
we need to take back our communities first from this thinking, this lazy thinking, and the black masculinity needs to be taken back by people of goodwill to say that's not what being a man is. People looking up to Puffy because they think at some point they think that's what masculinity is in the community. I see it every day, and at some point we're gonna have to take back. We need to start with us first, and we need to be a whole. I saw a lawyer say this the other day. It needs to be a whole reset, from civil defense to protecting your communities to the schools to who can come and do what, who can come and do business in our communities. People don't want to say this. Dude, right now I'm in the neighborhood. It's probably the hottest neighborhood in the city, in the country. I keep telling people this. And this is going to sound racist. I know it sounds racist, but I don't mean it in a racist sense. We have so many other minorities coming here to take and buying up this property in here. So many other minorities coming in buying this property. Because we can't get black folks to come in and buy the property. I don't want to be around gunshot. They're going to be around gunshot because they know that price of that property is going to go up. That generational wealth is going up. I don't know where the black preachers are. I don't. Boy, I like Superfly more than I like Diddy. Superfly wasn't beating up women. The whole reset will take 2 generations. Yeah, well, until you start, you can't get to those generations. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And we need to start now. It probably won't be in our lifetime, but we can at least get it started. And I don't know what said about the black preacher, but here's how I feel about black preachers now that I'm dealing with them on a different level. They all got their own fiefdoms. They can't get together because they all got their own.
They all got their own. That was the case during the civil rights movement. You know, little known fact. King wasn't liked by a lot of black preachers. They didn't like him.
Crystal will tell you when my dad got King to come to Augusta, there were many black preachers, including the biggest one that did not want King to come. And he was a Morehouse graduate. He did not want King to come to Augusta, of the biggest black church. He did not want King to come to Augusta. And until you start calling them on, I don't know. I don't know what role they play. I don't know how you build up that type of cash machine. We don't have any access to capital markets. We don't have access to the $1.7 trillion we spend. I think it needs to start small, but I think you got to start calling people out.
I agree.
Latinos have it worse. You know what's so crazy about this? The more the ICE comes up, you know where those Latinos are going to go to hide? They're going to come to Black communities. They're going to have no place else to hide but Black communities. They're going to come right to Black communities. And you know why? Because Black people still going to have this unlimited amount of empathy that they're not going to turn them in. They can't hide in Latino communities. They're going to go right to Black communities. Watch what I tell y'all. ICE now has more money. Just start watching your communities and watch how many Latino people are going to start showing up. Watch, because they're going to start coming into Black. They don't have no other place. You can't hide in the Latino community, but you could remotely hide in a Black community because Black people going to leave you alone. How many of y'all are ignoring Jamal Bryant economic protest? I'm not ignoring Jamal Bryant economic protest. I haven't been in Target in a while. I've not been in Target since he talked about it. I don't have a problem with Jamal Bryant. I don't get into Jamal Bryant's personal life. They will understand Nelly. Hey,
We get you. I can't see anything.
Good question. I've been in Target since before Lent. Yeah, I haven't been in. I think Jamal's economic boycott has been working. Let me tell you how I know it's been working. You know it's been working when the what was it, Marion? The National Baptist Convention. What was it? Who was it, Kenneth, that took the money last week?
National Baptist Convention. Yeah.
When they start trying to insert themselves into it, even Reverend Al tried to insert himself into it. Jamal Bryant had a problem with that. When the CEO of Target decided to meet with Reverend Al, Jamal Bryant was like, "Man, what are you doing? Like, we should have got together before you met with him." And when the National Baptist Convention decides they're going to get into it, it has to be working because Target is looking for an out. And I didn't think Target was as bad as everybody. I thought Target, I still believe this. Some people don't like it. I still believe that Target was like, we don't want to get targeted. And now, do I think Costco did the right thing? Yes, I did. But I'm not going to sit here and say I don't understand when the other CEO is going, man, this dude is targeting every corporation. I'm scared shitless they stop speaking Spanish in the Mexican restaurant. But anyway, it's 11:09. Kenneth, what you got? I don't have nothing else for y'all. I appreciate y'all coming on today, though.
Hey, I'm still trying to cover from yesterday. Just say one thing to my Skiggy people. Happy 144th birthday to Mother Tuskegee.
Is there any Skiggy people here?
Might be. Well, there was somebody earlier. One of the frat brothers from Tuskegee was
talking to.
So happy 144th birthday to Mother Tuskegee. And it's getting stronger. I will say that shooting that took place on the campus, the homecoming, it didn't scare us, didn't slow us down, it made us go faster. So I'm proud to be a part of the Tuskegee legacy. And like I said, happy 144th birthday to Mother Tuskegee. Anyway, y'all, I'm about to go because I'm still trying to recover from yesterday hanging out with my family all day in that heat. I'm still trying to recover from that. So y'all be good. I'll see y'all next week. I will be somewhere else, but I'll be on here. So I'll let you know where I'm at when I'm there. Anyway, I'll see y'all next week. Deuces.
Y'all have a good day. Peace.